The Enchanted Orchid. In the heart of Everbloom Forest, where trees whispered secrets of old and flowers bloomed with magical hues, lived Petal, a unicorn whose mane shimmered with the soft glow of dawn. Petal was known among the forest creatures for her gentle spirit and the healing powers that flowed from her horn, restoring life to the plants and animals around her. One morning, as dew still clung to the emerald leaves, Petal noticed a strange quietness had fallen over the forest. The usual chorus of chirping birds and rustling small creatures had hushed. Concerned, Petal trotted through the woods, her hooves silent on the mossy floor. As she moved deeper into the forest, the reason for the silence revealed itself. A blight was spreading through her home. Blackened leaves and withered flowers painted a stark contrast against the lush greenery, and a heavy, unnatural fog choked the vibrant life of the forest. Desperate for guidance, Petal made her way to the oldest part of the forest, where ancient trees arched toward the sky like the vaulted ceilings of a grand cathedral. Here resided Greenleaf, an ancient tree spirit, whose gnarled branches were thick with moss and age. His deep, rumbling voice echoed in the wind as he greeted Petal, his bark-wrinkled face wearing a frown of concern. "Petal, the forest suffers," Greenleaf said, his voice carrying the sorrow of the woods. "What you see is the work of a dark magic, an ancient curse reborn. There is only one cure for such a blight, the Enchanted Orchid. It blooms far from here, atop the perilous peaks of Mount Mystica." Mount Mystica, a name that stirred whispers of awe and fear among the forest dwellers, was a place of legend, said to be wrapped in eternal mists and guarded by creatures of old magic. The journey would be fraught with dangers unseen and trials untested. Determined to restore her home, Petal decided to undertake this perilous quest. As she prepared to leave, Thorn, a boar known for his protective tusks and fierce heart, approached her. His bristles were like the needles of the pines, and his eyes held the resolve of one who has faced shadows without falter. "Petal, no creature should face the dangers of Mount Mystica alone," Thorn declared, his stance resolute. "I will journey with you to protect and aid through whatever may come." With a grateful nod, Petal accepted Thorn's company. Together they set off at dawn the next day, the light filtering through the canopy in golden streams, casting long shadows on their path. The forest seemed to watch in silent anticipation as the pair ventured into the unknown, carrying with them the hopes of all Everbloom. As Petal and Thorn ventured beyond the familiar borders of Everbloom Forest, the landscape began to shift. The gentle woods gave way to rugged terrain, with steep cliffs and valleys shrouded in mist. Here, the air was cooler, and the sun seemed to struggle to pierce the dense fog that enveloped everything like a thick blanket. Their journey was not a lonely one. The path to Mount Mystica was alive with magical creatures. Some were friendly, like the whispering wind sprites that danced around Petal, curious about the unicorn's glowing mane. Others were wary, keeping a careful distance, their eyes glinting from shadowed groves. leaves. Petal's presence, so full of light and life, often calmed their suspicions, while Thorn's fierce demeanour ensured their safety from any who thought to harm them. One evening, as twilight draped its violet cloak over the world, the travellers encountered a river that surged and frothed with the power of recent rains. The river, known as the Mirror Flow, was said to reflect not just one's appearance, but their innermost essence. To cross it, Petal and Thorn had to face reflections of their deepest fears. Petal, gazing into the swirling waters, saw herself enveloped in darkness, her light extinguished, failing to save her beloved forest. Beside her, Thorn saw himself overwhelmed by shadowy figures, his strength defeated. They stood by the riverbank, each grappling with their own anxieties. Yet it was Greenleaf's whispered guidance through the rustling leaves that reminded them of their strengths. "Trust in your light, Petal. Trust in your might, Thorn," the leaves seemed to say. Taking a deep breath, Petal stepped into the water, her light mingling with the river's reflections, dispelling the dark visions. Thorn followed, his determined steps causing the menacing figures in his reflection to scatter. Together they crossed the Mirror Flow, emerging stronger and more united on the other side. The challenges continued as they neared the base of Mount Mystica. The path grew steeper and the air thinned. Strange luminescent flowers lined the path, lighting their way in the darkness of night. Their beauty was nearly mesmerizing, and it was here they met a creature of myth, Nyx, the shadow fox, a guardian of the mountain paths. Nyx, with fur as dark as the space between stars, eyed them with a curious tilt of his head. "Many seek the Enchanted Orchid. Few reach it," he murmured, his voice like the soft rustle of leaves at night. "What makes you different?" "It is not for ourselves that we seek it, but to heal our home," Petal answered, her voice firm with resolve. Nyx considered her words, his silver eyes reflecting the moonlight. "Then I will aid you. But beware, the peak is guarded by a creature twisted by the blight you wish to cure. It knows only pain and rage." Thanking Nyx, Petal and Thorn continued their ascent, now with the knowledge of what awaited them at the summit. Each step took them higher into the clouds, into realms of ice and snow, where the air whispered secrets of ancient magic. As Petal and Thorn ascended the final slopes of Mount Mystica, the cold bit through their fur and skin, a stark reminder of the harshness of this high-altitude realm. Above them, the summit loomed, shrouded in a perpetual mist that seemed to swirl with both anticipation and warning. When they reached the peak, the sight that greeted them was beyond anything they had imagined. Amidst a clearing encircled by towering icy spires, the Enchanted Orchid glowed with an ethereal light, its petals shimmering like the surface of a tranquil lake under moonlight. However, guarding this marvel was the beast of which Nyx had spoken, a massive creature, its form shifting unsettlingly between wolf and shadow, eyes glowing with a malevolent red light. The beast snarled, a sound that echoed off the mountain walls, filled with pain and fury. Thorn bristled, ready to charge, but Petal laid a calming hoof on his shoulder. Remembering Greenleaf's advice and her encounter with the mirror flow, Petal knew that brute force was not the answer. Instead, she stepped forward slowly, her heart pounding, but her voice steady. "We have not come to steal or to conquer," she said to the beast, her words cutting through the icy air. "We seek only to heal our home, and perhaps yours as well. Can you not remember who you were before the blight?" The beast paused, its fierce eyes softening slightly. In that moment, Petal pushed her magic forward, a gentle wave of light emanating from her horn, washing over the beast. The light seemed to penetrate the creature's darkened hide, reaching into the depths of its pain. Slowly, the malevolent red in the beast's eyes faded, replaced by a clear, pain-free gaze. It bowed its head, stepping aside, no longer a guardian of fury, but a sentinel of the sacred orchid. Petal approached the orchid, her horn glowing brighter as she touched its petals. The magic of the orchid mingled with hers, sending a pulse of powerful healing energy that rippled down the mountain and across the forests below. The blight that had once spread despair was now receding, leaving behind fresh growth and renewed life. With the orchid's power now infused in her own, Petal turned back to the beast, which watched them with a newfound peace. "You are free from the blight's hold," she said. "Join us in guarding this magic, ensuring it heals rather than harms." The creature nodded, a silent agreement to a new beginning. As they descended the mountain, Thorn beside her and the healed guardian now their ally, Petal felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The forest would thrive again, and the unity between different beings, unicorn, boar, and beast, had overcome the darkest threat. Upon returning, Greenleaf welcomed them with a rustle of leaves like applause. The forest sang with life once more, and the story of their journey would be told for generations, a tale of courage, understanding, and the healing power of unity.